Welcome to the Explainer. Digital marketing is always changing, right? But 2025, that's shaping up to be something different, a really fundamental shift. So today, we're going to break down the framework that's going to define everything, the experience, the engine, and that all-important human foundation. All right, let's get into it.
And really, it all boils down to this one question. Because in 2025, the answer isn't just, better ads or a faster website. No, what we actually want as customers, it's forcing a total reinvention of how brands have to think and act and, well, talk to us. And this right here, this is the heart of it. I mean, think about your own experience. Do you really care if you're on a brand's app or their website or walking into their store? Not really, right? You just want it all to connect, to feel like one single, easy conversation. And honestly, that one simple idea, it's the key that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about today. So what does that mean? Well, if the experience is the only thing that matters, then the old way of doing things just isn't going to cut it anymore. And that leads us straight into the first huge shift, this demand for a single, seamless journey. Okay, so this is the new gold standard, right? We're moving past just having a Facebook page and an email list and a website that all feels separate. The real goal now is making every single one of those touch points feel like it's just one part of a bigger, connected, and really personal conversation. This really lays it out, doesn't it? The old way, multi-channel, was all about those disconnected silos. You know the feeling. You get some generic email blast that has absolutely no clue you were just on their app looking at a specific pair of shoes 5 minutes ago. But the 2025 way, Omnichannel, that's a whole different ballgame. It's a unified journey that's all about you, the customer. It's super personalized and feels like you're having one smart conversation. And that leads us right to this buzzword, hyper-personalization. Look, this is so much more than just sticking your first name in an email. That's old news. This is about using data to actually predict what you need right in the moment. It's about treating every single customer like they're a unique micro-segment, basically a market of one. Okay, so this is a perfect example of what that journey actually feels like for you. It starts with an ad on social media that feels like it was made just for you. You click, and the website already shows you stuff you're interested in. Then maybe you get a follow-up email that's actually helpful. And get this, if you walk into their actual store, the experience continues. It's just one smooth, continuous flow. But let's be real, making an experience like that happen, it's incredibly complex. You need a really powerful engine to run it all. And here's the catch, that engine doesn't run on the same old fuel marketers have been using for the past decade. Something big, something fundamental has to change first. And what is that? Well, a key piece of the old internet, a technology that has pretty much powered digital ads for years, it's disappearing. It's reaching the end of its life, and that is forcing a massive pivot across the entire industry. What we're talking about, of course, is the death of the third-party cookie. You know, those little trackers that follow you around the internet from one website to another, collecting data for advertisers. Well, as browsers block them for privacy reasons, that whole old-school way of targeting ads is basically falling apart. So what's the solution? Well, the most crucial point is this. The best, most valuable data now comes directly from your own audience. This is what we call first-party data. It's the information customers share with you willingly, transparently. It's all built on a foundation of trust. And in 2025, that trust, that's your new secret weapon, your biggest competitive advantage.
And this is where it all comes together. This is the engine for modern marketing. You've got two huge trends merging into one. On one side, you have this need for trust-based first-party data. And on the other, you have the incredible power of AI. You put those two together, and they unlock absolutely everything.
Yeah, this is really where the magic happens. Because look, AI is only as good as the data you give it. So when you feed it that high-quality, trusted first-party data, AI suddenly becomes the tool that can finally deliver on that promise of hyper-personalization. It can analyze all that info to send the perfect message at the perfect time, making that one-to-one communication a reality, even at a massive scale. Okay, so we've got the experience we want to create, and we've got the engine to power it. But even the best technology in the world is totally useless if it isn't built on the right foundation. So let's talk about that final piece of the puzzle, and it's probably the most human piece of all.
In 2025, you can't just throw some AI at a problem and call it a strategy. That's not going to work. Real sustainable growth, that comes from getting the human element right. It's about the purpose behind the technology and, just as importantly, the people who are actually using it. So, the brands that are really going to win are the ones that can perfectly balance these three things. First, they have a clear purpose. They know what they stand for. Second, they invest in their people, so their team has the right skills for this new world. And third, they are laser focused on performance, always using data to see what's working and what's not. You can't just have one or two. You absolutely need all three.
All right, so we've talked about the experience, the engine, and the foundation. How do we pull this all together? What's the big takeaway? What's the mandate for marketers going into 2025?
This is it right here. The future of marketing isn't about being great at just one of these areas. It's about mastering how they all work together. It's about creating that unified experience, powering it with a trustworthy AI engine fueled by first-party data, and building it all on a rock-solid foundation of purpose and people.
And that leaves us with one last, really crucial question to think about. Is this strategy just something written down in a document somewhere? Or is it actually part of your company's DNA? Because in 2025, the brands that win, the ones that truly break through, are going to be the ones who don't just talk about these principles, they live them.